Hi everyone, welcome to day 3 of S-Ilp daily live mentorship and daily targets, which brings you again accountability, consistency, and the application of that. So coming to day 3 of Polity, the topics that we would be covering is citizenship and fundamental rights. We have divided fundamental rights into 3 days as it's a vast topic, and we know it. In fact, 3 days itself is also a short period. But as if we are seeing a student who is preparing from, say, our November and who is actually giving the exam in 2025, then obviously you need to fasten up the pace. So based on all that, we have formulated the plan as well. And coming to the day 3, the articles that we would be covering is article 12 to 18. Fine. And so let's see what we have to cover in under citizenship and fundamental rights of day 3. So in under citizenship, that is nothing but article 5 to 11 is what you would be covering. And most importantly here, it is more to do with once you get a citizenship, or how do you get a citizenship. And it can be through naturalization, birth, through registration, to descent. So there are different processes on which you become a citizen of a particular country, right? That is the same across all over the globe. And once you get the citizenship, what are the privileges that you would enjoy compared to a foreigner, right? And also, like, the kind of citizen, here we have a single citizenship, unlike in, say, Switzerland or USA, wherein they have separate citizenship of the state as well as the center. Like, for example, like if I'm from Karnataka, I'll have a separate citizenship for my state as well as a citizenship for the center, that is the country as a whole. So we don't follow that system. We follow single citizenship. And so these are the things that you'll be covering in citizenship. And most importantly, that 1955 Citizenship Act. This becomes important here. And the other thing is the current affairs part of it. The recent amendments to this, right? And the Citizenship Amendment Act to the rights and powers of overseas citizens or NRIs. Right, so all this you will be studying here, and especially as I said, current affairs, but this or even national population register, right? And especially CAA has been in news. There are a lot of debates going on this, so keep a tab on that. Fine. Now coming to the second part of day 3, that is fundamental rights. So all the way from article 12 to article 18 is what we'll be studying. In this, the most important part would be understanding the basics of fundamental rights. It starts all the way from why do we call this rights as fundamental rights, since as it is protected by the constitution, or the difference between fundamental rights, civil rights, or human rights. In fact, there was a prelims question asked also on the same thing. So your conceptual understanding, clarity should be very good or very deep in this aspect of it. And also, especially article 12 and 13, it gives you a fair understanding of what you mean by a state or what do you mean by law. So these basics will be very clear here, because sometimes we call a country as state, sometimes as country itself, sometimes as nation. So all the three things you need to know the difference with that. And also this fundamental rights helps in the political democracy. So what is this political democracy, or when it comes to DPSP and all, it is about social democracy. So you need to understand these aspects as well. So how it helps in developing that political democracy. And also from article 14 to 18, it is actually known as right to equality. So it is divided into 3-4 parts, and each like say from article 19, it is known as right to freedom. So at every part, or right to religion from article 25 to 28. So that is how it is divided around to 5 to 6 parts. So the first part that we'll be seeing today would be from article 14 to 18, and in that article 14 talks about equality, right? Equality and equity concept, or rule of law. All these things you will be studying in or reading in under article 14. So DAY-3 is rule of law, or the like should be treated alike. That is nothing but the concept of equity. That is the reason we have reservation and other benefits to the underprivileged or the vulnerable sections. So all this is substantiated by this, right? The concept of equality. Then in article 15 talks about there should be no discrimination any kind of discrimination based on caste, the region, etc., should should not be supported as such. So it talks about that. Then Article 16 talks about equal opportunity in terms of providing equal opportunity in terms of employment. So it can be gender based, wherein both men and women should have equal opportunity to work and should also get equal pay for that. So all these aspects comes here, especially this discrimination and employment aspect, right? It comes, wherein we can talk about reservation here, the exceptional cases wherein reservation comes into picture, especially the 93rd Amendment Act, Constitutional Amendment Act, and the recent EWS reservation, right? All these things will come under this aspect of it. So here, as I said, especially when you're reading fundamental rights, you need to be abreast with what is happening, across the nation, in and around you, right? So there's a lot of debate going on, especially with respect to even the creamy layer concept, the Mandal Commission. All this comes under this aspect of it. And with the EWS reservation, wherein the economy based reservation, is it justified, or the social based reservation, that is for the SC and ST, which has been given, right? So now they are trying to come up with creamy layer concept, just like OBC. So should we have a creamy layer concept for SC and ST, wherein there's one school of thought which says that most of the benefits are taken by the elite people of the particular caste. So it should actually go to the bottom of the pyramid, where a lot of vulnerable people are there or not actually getting the benefits. So this is one school of thought. The other school of thought says that though economically we have grown, but socially we are still treated the same. So the social forwardness is still yet to come. So we do deserve this reservation. So there are different school of thoughts discussing about this reservation aspect. So you need to cross-question yourself, right? So should the economic based reservation should be the way forward? So that's a question for you that can come in either mains or even in interview aspect of it. So always have an integrated approach, be it prelims, mains or interview. Next, going forward, Article 17, right, talks about untouchability, abolition of untouchability. At most of the places this has been abolished, but still in certain rural pockets we find that this untouchability practice is still going on. So what should be done, etc. So on those lines. And then finally Article 18 talks about abolition of titles. So that this is also connected to the concept of equality, right? So earlier there were titles like hereditary titles like Raja, Maharaja, or Raj Sahib or Diwan, all that. So they actually abolished these titles, but then what happens is there are awards also given. So like Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, all these national awards are given. So that also comes up with title. So should that be accepted or not? So there are the questions on that as well. So these are the things that you'll be doing in from Article 12 to 18. Clear? So start reading. And in the evening, let's again come back and we'll discuss a couple of questions on this. And as I said, this is a very important topic under polity. It will help you in prelims, mains and interview. So have a keen eye and study it from current affairs perspective as well. Thank you.